All right, guys, congratulations. You made it to the final week of your junior year of high school. This week, I'm asking you guys to think about the future. What's going to change as a result of all of this coronavirus stuff and all of the lockdowns? What's our future going to look like? In our last Zoom, I'm going to ask you guys to pick out some things from the course that stuck out to you. So just a real quick rundown, some of the things that we talked about. Remember, we started the class with Aristotle talking about eudaimonia, our human desire for happiness, being made in the image and likeness of God, and how that gives us an inherent sense of dignity. That leads us to talking about the common good and charity and justice, social sin, and how our belief in justice in the Catholic Church is rooted in Scripture. So then we talked about how Catholic social teaching and the 7 key tenets of Catholic social teaching are rooted in Scripture and date back to 1891 with the modern encyclicals, and the first being Rerum Novarum, and that those are also rooted in natural law. We talked about prophets, those who are exemplars and stand up for the Anawim, and you guys did the Modern Day Prophet Project. We also talked about Dorothy Day and learned her story. We then talked about the life and dignity of the human person and the Catholic Church's position on abortion, embryonic stem cell research, cloning and genetic manipulation, euthanasia, and capital punishment. We talked about the cycle of social action, rights and responsibilities. We talked about the idea of subsidiarity and the idea that problems should be resolved as close to the source as possible. We talked about conscientious objection and our call to participation. We did talk about the option for the poor and vulnerable right before break, and we talked about forms of poverty, material poverty, poverty of spirit, poverty of addiction. We talked about the income gap and wealth disparity. Again, we talked about the Anawim, those who are the lowest in society. We talked about a culture of waste. And then we talked about our own response to that, about corporal and spiritual works of mercy, justice and almsgiving, the universal destination of goods, how we're called to evangelize, the need to respond to that, and how we're called to live simply. So since Easter break, we've been applying social justice in terms to our current issues of quarantine. We talked about racism and the racial differences of the quarantine and of the virus itself. We talked about the impact on the environment and environmentalism. We talked about social action, and we're ending with looking to the future. So don't forget, your last assignment is the Student Perception Survey. That counts as a 20-point quiz grade. Thanks for a great year. In the 26 years of teaching, never have I ever tread water for a class, so I hope you appreciate my efforts. I do hope you all have a great summer, and I hope to see you in person on campus next year. All right, so if you're still watching, I just want last time, thank you guys for a great year. I always learn so much every year. I hope you have a great summer, and I hope this coronavirus thing ends soon. Peace.